Hi there, this is Stephen here from Golder Wealth Management. This is another video that I've put together which should hopefully help you make money from match betting, whether it be just a side hustle, whether it be a full-time occupation, or if it's just something that you look to earn some extra money to pay for other things in life that currently are out with your reach. I'm hoping to try and put together as many videos as possible, so if there's anything that you like already on the videos, please comment below. Please like and subscribe as usual with these YouTube channels. That helps me grow my reach, and at the same time it also lets me know whether the content that I'm putting together in these videos are value adding to you. If that helps one person, as far as I'm concerned, that's me actually done what I've set out to do. So the more people that can see these videos, the better for me. I feel that my experience of 6 years match betting and now 3 years full time has taught me quite a lot of valuable lessons that only experience actually tells you. So this video is all about the importance of your bankroll, and also at the same time is how to grow your bankroll. So two different things can happen with bankroll. Maybe you're brand new, you're starting out, or potentially you've made a mistake, you've lost a big chunk of your bankroll, or you're returning to match betting after not doing it for a period of time. So we'll split this into two parts, predominantly focus on how to grow your bankroll in the second part. First part, however, is the importance of your bankroll. So bankroll is something that is bandied around in match betting world quite a lot, and it's just as simple as the amount of money that you have available exclusively for match betting. So in other videos I will talk about why it is important to have separate bank accounts for match betting from your own personal account. And I think for me that's probably one of the most important points to understand right at the very start. The last thing that you really want to be doing is mixing up your own personal money with your match betting money, purely because you just lose track of what money is yours and what money is your match betting pot. So if you haven't already, my suggestion would be is to set up a match betting bank account. A lot of bank accounts that you can set up online, you essentially can have a bank card within a couple of days. And most bank accounts that you set up online, they're available to you straight away, even with some verification over the phone. So set up a separate bank account. The thing that you really need to understand right from the very start is that the money that you've set aside as part of your bankroll shouldn't really be touched. So if something happens where like a household bill needs to be paid, you really need to try and resist the urge to take money from your bankroll, because essentially that money is locked away. So the way I used to always see it is there was a lot of savings pots that you actually had to give 90 days notice to be able to take money out. So or else there was some sort of a warning, or there was a fee that was actually paid. So for me, I would actually treat your match betting bankroll similar in that way, that actually although you've got money in there and it's growing, my suggestion would be is not to actually take the money out of there. Something that I've said before is one of the biggest mistakes that I have actually made in match betting is seeing the money grow and taking big chunks of money out to pay for things that at the time that I actually felt was really valuable, but looking back it was just an expense that I didn't really need at the time. So if you do need to take money out of your bankroll, you just have to be prepared for some more hard work to rebuild the bankroll. And for me, the other thing that you've got to remember is as soon as you start chipping away at your bankroll, it just becomes easier and easier and easier to take more money out. So it's only £10 rolls into it's only £20, and then it's only £100, etc. So if you are inclined to take money out of your bankroll, my suggestion would be is not to take money out of your bankroll as such, but to take a percentage out of your bankroll. So if you are making a profit of £100 in a month, set it as something as simple as 20% of profits can be taken out. So you make £100 and you start a bankroll of 200, your bankroll is now £200. I would be taking 10% or 20% of your profit, which is actually £100. So you'd be taking £10 or £20 out of your overall bankroll. So rather than having a bankroll of 200, it would either be 180 if you're taking 20% out, or 190. But taking 20% of your overall bankroll would obviously take out a lot more money as such. So you've just got to watch that you don't take too much out. Once you've actually got the fundamentals of actually looking after your bankroll in the first place, my suggestion is that you track it well, and also at the same time as you track the offers that you're making money from. So there are a lot of people that will swear blind that certain offers are great for them, but when asked in terms of how much money do they make from that, in terms of a percentage of time that they put in and the money that's required, you might find that that money and that time could be better spent on different offers that actually return a greater return. So for me, it all comes down to how much time it takes you to do a certain offer, and at the same time as how much money you're going to get back. So a lot of match betting terms, it tends to be expected value. So they always talk about what the expected value is. So if something's going to take you 5 minutes to do and the expected value is £1, and something's going to take you 6 minutes to do and the expected value is £3, you should always go for the second option. There's a big caveat with this. It's easy for me to sit and say I wouldn't take a certain offer because the amount of money that I'm going to get back from that offer is not going to be valuable for me, and that's purely just because the return I'm looking for is a lot higher because I've been doing this for a lot longer. But when you're starting out, you take all of any expected value offers that come your way, as long as they're risk-free or they're very, very low risk, because it's the only way that you can actually build your bank. So once we've now covered bankroll and understanding what your bankroll is and when to take money out or not to take money out, and how to grow your bankroll, I think the importance is now talking about where you take that bankroll from where it currently is and how to actually maximise the return for your time as much as possible, and certain things to look out for as well. So I will promote quite a lot of offers on my group which I potentially might not do, but I think they're actually very good value for new people that are actually joining, purely because you can do an awful lot more when you've got a bankroll of 200 or 300 than you do of a bankroll of £100. So a couple of things that I'll talk to you about right now that I think anybody that's brand new to match betting or anybody that's got a low bankroll really needs to start kind of hitting. And also at the same time, offers I would suggest not to do at present, purely because the risk that's involved compared to the return that you can get back isn't worth it, and potentially could demotivate you considering that you've got a low bankroll. You don't really want it to get any lower. So here are the things that I would suggest straight away to make a difference. Almost every bookmaker, I would probably say there's about 15 or 20 currently have what's called as a weekly bet club. Now, there's a lot of debate about whether this is good for account health or not, but starting out, I would suggest that you sign up to these weekly bet clubs. So it's something as simple as Sky Bet will say, if you wager £25 with us on specific minimum odds, every Monday we will give you a £5 free bet. So the premise for these weekly bet clubs is it's about spending an X amount of money and getting a free bet, and generally the free bet lands on a Monday. So when I first started this out, Mondays were great because you potentially might have had qualifying losses throughout the week or over the weekend, then come Monday you actually collected 30, 40, £50 in free bets. So sign up to the weekly bet clubs that are there, and if there are weekly bet clubs that are as simple as you bet a certain amount at certain odds and you get a free bet, I would always say go for those ones. A lot of people will then say, well, it's only a £5 free bet, and the qualifying losses to actually generate that £5 free bet might be, say, £1, but we always look for at least 80% return on a free bet. So on a £5 free bet, you would be looking for £4 in cash to be retained there. So even a £1 qualifying loss to trigger that £5 free bet is still going to give you an overall £3 cash balance as such. So that's £3 extra to go into your match betting pot. And again, lots of people, whether they're experienced or whether they're new, will turn their nose up and say, well, I'm not going to spend that amount of money for £3. But when you factor in £3 every single week, and you do this multiple times on multiple bookmakers, all of a sudden they add up. And it's the same. If it's not a matter of building your bankroll and you don't want to do this long term, even just a simple offer like that pays for your coffee on a Monday morning. You know, that's the way that I used to always see it, is certain offers would pay for certain things. So even doing a Sky weekly bet club every single week would pay for a Netflix subscription every month, for argument's sake. That is, of course, if you pay for Netflix in the first place, unless you sponge it off somebody else. But weekly bet clubs are definitely the ones to look at in the first place. The other thing that what you'll find is once you've signed up for a lot of bookmakers, they'll start sending you through reload offers. They'll also start sending you through casino offers as well. It's very, very tempting to do casino offers where you're wagering £100 for £5. And what we would say is you should expect to lose £2 or £3 for every £100 doing a casino offer. However, you could easily lose £50-60. It's just the way that casino offers go. You could easily lose £50 one week and win £150 the next week. So for me, I would always be looking for things that are actually of low value. So wager £10 for 10 free spins, etc. But the other thing you've also got to look at is what are the free spins going to be used on. So if the free spins are generated in 10 pence spins and they're giving you 10 spins, that is essentially 11, if you're going to get 10 free spins at 10 pence, they're essentially giving you £1 of credit to spend on their casino, but you have to wager £10 to get that. So when you then factor that in terms of how much money you could make from that, is very slight. So you have to watch. When I started off, the only things that I would do in casino is when they would give me free spins for a specific offer. So bet on the England game tonight, and for every goal that is scored in the England game, we will give you 5 free spins. So long as you can find a low qualifying loss, for me they're the type of offers that I would look for. So look out for reload offers coming through your emails from these bookmakers. Look at your weekly bet clubs as well. I think it's a really good idea to do as well. There are a lot of what we call bet and get offers as well. I'm predominantly focusing on some of the main bookmakers just now. Take Sky for instance. They have an offer where you bet £5 on the football match tonight and they'll give you a £5 free bet. Now what you'll tend to find is the qualifying bet on that will be £5, so your qualifying loss will be very small. I think it's really, really important that when you're building a bank that you don't get loose with your qualifying losses. So you might want to put the bet on quite quickly. However, if it's going to cost you 50 pence more than putting the bet on in 15-20 minutes, my suggestion would be is to wait the 15-20 minutes. However, time constraints, you might then say, well, as far as I'm concerned, I'd much prefer to actually put it on now and just write off an additional 50 pence of profit. That's completely up to you in terms of what you need to do. What you'll tend to find is when there's high profile football on, big matches, etc., many bookmakers will be trying to get you to bet with them, so they'll give you bet and get opportunities. At present, filming this, we have Champions League that's on tonight. We have Novibet that are doing a bet £30 get £10, which is essentially worth £7. We have Coral doing bet £5 get £5, which is worth £4. We then got Sky, which is bet 5 and get 5, which is £4. So just from those 3 offers alone, that's £15. Now, I get that these offers will not happen every single day, but that's £15 on top of a bankroll of, let's just say, £100 that you start with. That's a 15% increase in your bankroll. So for me, they're the offers that you look to be focusing on. If they're going to give you free spins in casino, take them. There are a lot of sign-up offers that will actually send you free spins after you've signed up. There's bookmakers as well that will give you cash just specifically for signing up to their marketing or for filling out a survey. I received an email yesterday from Heart Bingo saying, fill in this survey, it takes 2 minutes and we'll give you £2 cash. Now, again, there will be people that will happily take the £2, and there will all be people saying, I'm not filling out that survey for £2, it's 2 minutes of my life I don't want to spend. But these are the kind of things that you really need to grab hold of, which then builds your bankroll up, and you can take a higher bankroll, which then essentially means you can cover more offers. So you've got your weekly bet clubs, you've got your reload offers that come through, you get your free spins that come through as well, and you've got your bet and gets. Now, on top of that, there are lots of other what we would say is reload offers that are always available. So Take, for example, Bet365, Star Sports, Paddy Power. They all do their 2-up offer. So the 2-up offer is that you'll get paid out as a winner if your team goes 2 goals up, but fails to win the game. You can cash out a percentage of a profit if your team does go two goals up, and then it lets in 1. Or what a lot of other people tend to do is wait for it to go 2-2, or actually people just leave their bets and hope for what's called as a full turnaround, the team to go 2 goals up but not win. You can do these sort of offers, however, the percentages of full turnarounds is actually really quite low. So what you might find is that you could easily do 30 or 40 bets costing you £1 at a time and actually not hit one full turnaround. So people have been known to go 100, 150 without a full turnaround. The percentage of a full turnaround is roughly 3%, but that's 3% of that game. You could easily be on that game but on the wrong team. So my advice would be is if you're going to do 2-ups on a low bankroll, I would keep your stakes low, and at the same time as I would be looking for really good matches. So I would be looking for no less than 98%. That's not great for account health, but at the same time I would say to you is that you don't really want to be taking a 95% match, because that's eaten into the bankroll that you've got, which you've already acknowledged that it's not as big as you would like it to be. So once your bankroll is bigger, you can afford to go on higher variance. Things like 2-ups and low to medium risk casino offers are the things that you can then move on to, because you've got a higher bankroll to be able to absorb what is called is the variance as such. So I would suggest not to jump straight into 2-ups in the first place. But if you are going to do 2-ups, keep the stakes low, and at the same time have a little think about when the games land. So you don't want to be tying up some of your money in a football game when there's horse racing that you're trying to target, for argument's sake. So that's the advice that I would say on 2-ups. However, you can easily go on 2-ups and you can get lucky very easily and you can build your bankroll really quickly, but I would probably wait until your bankroll gets a little bit higher than what it currently is just now. The other thing for me, the main things aside from bet and gets, it tends to be horse racing refunds. So there are some horse racing refunds that are a lot easier to hit, and there are other horse racing refunds like extra places, for argument's sake, or second to SP, which are harder to hit. However, it's not to say that you shouldn't do it. So for me, very, very simple. I would stick to the basic ones. So for me, Coral do £10 free bet. So remember, this is up to £10 free bet. So if you want to put £5 on a horse, you will get up to £10. But for me, the maximum value would be the £10 free bet. So back and lay a horse. If that horse fails to finish, whether it falls, whether it pulls up, whether it unseats the rider, sometimes even if it doesn't start, it will trigger this offer as well. You'll be given a £10 free bet. You probably don't want much more than a 50p qualifying loss on these horses, and if you do manage to hit that, you've got a 50p qualifying loss. You will then get a £10 free bet, which you will look to make round about £8 from. So you've got quite a lot of opportunities to actually trigger this free bet before you actually start eating into the profit that you make from this. Unibet do a really good offer as well, which is the 15 to go. So you can only place this bet 15 minutes before the official race start time. So if the race is due to go off at 1 o'clock and it's delayed, you can still place the bet at 12:45. You've just got to remember to tick the 15 to go button. But what you will do is you'll get a £20 free bet, or up to £20 free bet if your horse wins. So as usual, back and lay. Unibet tend to be really good near the off for their favourites. Their favourites tend to be quite close, so your qualifying loss is actually quite low. My preference is always to back and lay and hope this horse wins. What you'll find is if you're betting 15 minutes before the start of the race, the chances of your horse drifting out and gaining you best odds guaranteed is probably going to be quite slim. So I would look to try and take as close a match as possible 15 minutes before on the favourite or second favourite, which gives you a higher chance of actually winning. Remember, the odds have to be 2 or above, so it can't be below the odds of 2. If the horse goes off below 2, you've still locked in your price at 2, so that's good to go. So that's another one that I like to do. I would also say the William Hill, get your money back if your horse is second. And again, the reason I'm emphasising money back is they will give you £10 cash. If you get a £10 free bet, you still have to back and lay that to be able to extract the money from the free bet. And that will probably give you roughly £8 profit. However, the William Hill offer will give you specifically £10 cash, so there's no requirements after that. So William Hill will do this on ITV Racing. They will also do it on horse racing during the week as well, where what you would then look to do is you would look to back a horse. It has to be, again, it's got to be 4 or above, and you're hoping for your horse to come second. Now, the beauty with this one is you can back as early on the day that you want, so anything past 10 o'clock will trigger best odds guaranteed for William Hill. Find a good match. If your horse drifts off and goes off at a higher price and wins, you will profit. And if the horse stays the same price or just lands in second place, you'll get a £10 cash refund. So you can normally do that 6 or 7 times a day, and you can also do it on the weekend as well. Just be aware, the more that you do these offers specifically, the more that you're opening your account up to be flagged that that's all that you're actually doing. So have a look at those horse racing offers. There are other ones as well. Betfred do second place refunds. They do second place refunds on an international horse racing. For me, I wouldn't do that. There's not enough money in the market. You'll potentially lose your stake, and you potentially won't trigger the free bet. So not for me. Boyle second to SP for me is a great offer when you're backing a horse to come second to the favourite. However, what I tend to do is I tend to specifically target races. So what I'd be looking for is a close, like a short favourite, and then maybe a close second favourite. Less runners the better as well. So maybe you're looking for 7, 8, 9 runners in the race. It gives you a far better chance, etc. as well. So again, similar to your William Hill offer, you could be backing a horse to come second to SP. It could drift out in odds and win, and you would profit from that as well. So there are loads of horse racing offers that you can actually do. Find the ones that you're actually comfortable in doing in the first place, and actually just get really good with it. Find out when bookies cut their odds, get used to the bookmaker site in the first place, where to go for certain things as well. There are also bookmakers that do boosts every single day as well, so take full use of the boosts. Remember again, the more that you take the boosts and the higher the value. So if take for example Ladbrokes have a boost up to £25 each way. If you're going to do a £25 each way on a horse and boost it, and that's all you're ever going to do, that's going to flag your account as well. So you've just got to be a little bit careful that you don't take full advantage of every single offer on every single bookmaker. The advice that I try to give out is try and recycle the account. So maybe today is a day that you do the Coral offer, tomorrow is a day that you do the William Hill offer, and on and on and on. And that way then you're giving your bookie accounts almost a bit of a breather as such. So keep an eye out for price boosts. There tends to be price boosts in quite a lot of bookmakers as well. There's also what I would call as advantage play boosts. So last night we had Ronaldo to have a headed shot on target in the Man United game. For me, I felt that was really good value. You can't really lay these bets off. However, I would say long term, I would say they're more profitable. And obviously that one landed, and that landed at 4-1. So I wouldn't be gambling, and I wouldn't be doing price boosts that you can't lay off whilst you've got a low bankroll. However, the more that your bankroll grows, the more opportunities you can actually do as well. Last thing for me before I finish off as well, I think one thing that is really, really important is choose the bank that you bank with wisely, and also understand how long it takes for certain bookmakers to send money back. So if you've got a bankroll of £100 and you win £50 into a bookmaker, take for example Betfred will send your money back up to 7 working days. Now, it generally isn't 7 working days. However, if that is a big portion of your bankroll and it's going to take 2 working days to come back, you're then in a position where you're a bit stuck. So you've got to watch that. It's the same with weekends as well. Some bookmakers do not class a Saturday or a Sunday as a day for withdrawals. So potentially if you withdraw on a Sunday, it won't be processed until at least the Monday. So it's all about managing your bankroll. And I think anybody that has a small bankroll will agree with a lot of the things that I've been talking about here, how frustrating it is, which is why it's so important to basically go back to this video and look at all the different steps on how to grow your bankroll so that you don't actually have this issue in the first place. A bigger bankroll essentially means you can cover more offers, and the more offers you cover, the more profit you make. And once you cover more offers, you can then increase your stakes as well. So if you're doing an each way bet, for example, and you're doing £5 each way, your profit will double if your horse lands in the extra place, if it lands at £10 each way, and so on, etc. So lots of different variables, but for me, try and stick with a separate bank account. I would try not to take money out of your bankroll. I would just treat it as something completely separate. If you want to take money out, take a percentage of a profit that you've made, and that way then that's almost like a pat in the back to yourself to say, I've taken money out of my match betting account, but it's a percentage of the profits. So for me, that's quite a good news story. The other thing you can do is you can wait until Christmas and you maybe say that you take out a percentage of your profits, and maybe that pays for certain things at Christmas, like nights out, drinks, etc. And I would try and get on as many offers as you can, and I would try and rotate the bookmakers that you have. And if you haven't signed up to all the bookmakers, you're really doing yourself a bit of a disservice, because even some of the smaller bookmakers that we'll call tin pot bookmakers will still send you offers that will actually make you money. So if you've not signed up to them, you're essentially cutting certain income streams away from yourself. As usual, if there's anything I've talked about in here, please just do me a favour and just put a comment below. If you like the videos that I'm putting out, subscribe. You'll get a little notification to say when a video is up, and I hopefully try and put as many videos up as possible. You can find me on Instagram as well under Gold or Wealth Management. I run a paid Facebook group as well, which we've got over 60 members in there now as well, and a lot of these people have actually been increasing their profits on a regular basis just with the group support that we provide. So as I said, anything that's in this video that's of interest to you, please just drop me a message or a comment below. I hope you found this valuable. Thanks very much. Cheers.